This conversation is powered by Google Illuminate. Check out illuminate.google.com for more. Today, we're diving into a fascinating exploration of AI in education, specifically how NotebookLM, a Google Gemini-powered platform, can be used as a Socratic tutor for physics. This discussion will explore the design, implementation, and preliminary observations of this RAG-based tool. To start, what exactly is Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG, and why is it important in this context?
RAG, or Retrieval Augmented Generation, is a technique that enhances the capabilities of large language models, LLMs, by incorporating external, verified sources of knowledge into the text generation process. Instead of solely relying on the information it was trained on, the LLM can retrieve relevant information from a knowledge base and use it to generate more accurate and contextually appropriate answers. This is particularly important in education because it helps mitigate the problem of hallucinations, where LLMs generate false or fabricated information. By grounding its responses in teacher-provided source documents, the RAG-based tutor can provide more traceable and reliable answers.
That makes sense. So how was NotebookLM specifically configured to act as a Socratic tutor in this case?
The key was to create a detailed training manual that was provided as a source document to NotebookLM. This manual defined the tutor's conversational strategies and pedagogical constraints, essentially telling it how to interact with students. The goal was to configure NotebookLM as a supportive partner that guides students through physics problem-solving using Socratic questioning rather than simply providing direct answers. This involved outlining specific procedures for interaction flow, progressive hinting, and response evaluation.
It sounds like a lot of thought went into designing the training manual. Can you give an example of how it was iteratively refined based on observations?
Certainly. One concrete example was the addition of an adaptive scaffolding rule. During early tests, it was observed that some users became frustrated when the tutor repeatedly withheld a direct solution. To address this, the training manual was updated to instruct the tutor to adopt a more supportive role after several unsuccessful student attempts, providing more explicit hints or guidance. This iterative refinement process was crucial for ensuring the tutor's effectiveness and user-friendliness.
That's a great example of how user feedback can be incorporated to improve the AI's behavior. How does the system handle problems with and without preloaded solutions?
When interacting with problems for which solutions and notes are provided as sources, the tutor primarily uses guiding questions derived from Socratic principles, referencing the provided materials to ensure traceability. However, for problems without preloaded solutions, the tutor utilizes its underlying Gemini model's capabilities to offer provisional, step-by-step guidance while still maintaining the guided inquiry approach. It's important to note that the guidance offered in this mode is provisional, and the tutor's responses are designed to acknowledge its own potential for inaccuracies.
So there's a built-in level of self-awareness about the limitations of the AI. How is the student interaction environment set up to ensure a controlled learning experience?
A key requirement is a NotebookLM Plus subscription, which enables the essential feature of sharing a secure, chat-only interface with students. This prevents them from viewing the underlying source documents used by the tutor, allowing teachers to customize the tutor's knowledge base and behavior without revealing the training manual or curated solutions. The primary student interaction then occurs via this chat interface, where they engage in a Socratic dialogue with the AI tutor.
That's a clever way to maintain control over the learning environment. What considerations were taken into account when selecting and formatting the physics problems?
Problems were selected from a college physics textbook, focusing on conceptually oriented, non-trivial tasks. The original phrasing was systematically modified to address the known sensitivity of LLMs to linguistic variations. This was done to assess the tutor's performance in guiding the problem-solving process based on underlying physics principles rather than simply relying on pattern matching. Additionally, careful attention was paid to the format of problems containing visual elements, such as graphs, to ensure accurate interpretation by NotebookLM.
It's interesting how even seemingly minor details like phrasing and file format can impact the AI's performance. What were some of the key observations from the test interaction sessions?
The test sessions revealed both the potential and the challenges of this approach. The AI tutor was able to facilitate a Socratic dialogue, promoting an active learning process within a controlled environment. However, it was also observed that some participants became frustrated when the tutor repeatedly withheld a direct solution. This highlighted a fundamental tension between maintaining pedagogical fidelity and addressing the motivational needs of learners.
That's a crucial point. How do you balance the benefits of Socratic questioning with the potential for user frustration?
That's the million-dollar question. The initial response was to implement an adaptive scaffolding rule in the training manual, prompting the tutor to be more proactive on a student's struggles. However, further research is needed to explore more dynamic strategies where the tutor adjusts its level of guidance in real time based on the student's individual needs and progress. It's about finding the sweet spot where the tutor provides enough support to keep the student engaged without giving away the answer and undermining the learning process.
It sounds like a delicate balancing act. What are some of the limitations of this approach?
One limitation is the primarily text-based nature of the student-tutor interaction, which limits the ability to fully support pedagogical methods requiring dynamic visual collaboration. Furthermore, the system inherits the intrinsic statistical nature of the underlying AI models, meaning responses may occasionally contain inaccuracies, necessitating critical evaluation by users and potential oversight from educators.
So it's not a perfect solution, but rather a tool that needs to be used thoughtfully and critically. What are the next steps for research and development in this area?
Future research should focus on conducting formal user studies to rigorously assess both student learning and engagement with this tutor model. Additionally, exploring more dynamic strategies for adaptive scaffolding and addressing the limitations of text-based interaction are key areas for improvement. As platforms like NotebookLM continue to evolve, so too will the opportunities to enhance these capabilities.
It's exciting to think about the potential for AI to personalize and enhance the learning experience. What are the key takeaways for educators who are interested in implementing similar AI-assisted learning tools?
The key takeaway is that it's feasible to create a controlled environment that supports Socratic dialogue for physics problem solving by grounding the AI in teacher-curated sources and shaping its behavior with a custom training manual. This approach allows instructors to define a tutor's behavior and share it via a single link, ensuring students interact with a controlled and uneditable pedagogical tool. However, it's crucial to carefully consider the design of the training manual, the format of the content, and the potential for user frustration.
So it's about being intentional and thoughtful in the design and implementation process. Any final thoughts on the future of AI in physics education?
The future of AI in physics education is bright, but it's important to approach it with a critical and informed perspective. AI tools like NotebookLM have the potential to personalize learning, provide individualized support, and promote deeper conceptual understanding. However, they are not a replacement for human teachers, but rather a powerful tool that can be used to enhance the learning experience. By carefully considering the pedagogical implications and addressing the limitations of these tools, we can harness the power of AI to create more effective and engaging learning environments for all students.
This is a very insightful discussion. Thank you for sharing your expertise and shedding light on the potential of AI in physics education.